Hello everybody, welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like if you have not already. Thank you so much to the first 10,000 of you who have subscribed. We're trying to get to 20k, so your subscription would be much appreciated. So in today's video, I was looking back at some of the videos that have succeeded pretty well on this channel, and the ones that I had expected to just not do particularly well were history-related ones, just because historically just dropping a history video in the middle of a season typically does not go as well as it does at other times of the year. But I enjoyed a lot talking about the Lob City Clippers because it allowed me to make content out of research that I was doing anyways, which is nice. And lately I've been focusing a lot on the Showtime Lakers and specifically Magic Johnson. Now this all started with my watching of the Showtime Lakers TV show Winning Time, as it was called. Ironically, the show ends with them losing in the championship to the Boston Celtics, but the incredibly disappointing end to that show aside, what I really love about that show is that it does encapsulate the energy that the Showtime Lakers were putting out there. They very much brought an entertainment edge to basketball that really had not existed before. You know, more caught up in, before this, they were more caught up in like stuffy, traditional type stuff. But here, flashy play not only was fun to watch, but it also resulted in a shitload of winning. And the Los Angeles Lakers won 5 of the 10 titles from the 1980s. So they literally proved that that flashy play style was not, you know, all flash and no substance. And the pinnacle of that, the guy who brought the energy that made Showtime what it was Magic Johnson. There really wasn't a version of this Lakers team that would have worked if not for Magic Johnson. Even if in the earlier years when they were together, the Showtime Lakers were far more dictated by a combination of Norm Nixon and Magic Johnson, and Magic wasn't really allowed to just outright dish out 15 assists every game. But even then, what he brought as a unique skill set when he was playing the two-guard position, I just don't think the energy of Showtime exists without the flashy style of Magic Johnson. And he was flashy in a way that I don't think any player has ever been flashy since. I don't think anyone has made passing as highlight-worthy as Magic Johnson. Don't get me wrong, you can string together a reel of plenty of all-time great playmakers and look at their passes and just be completely awestruck by them. But I don't know if there is a point guard or player throughout league history where I more consistently, through a highlight just on any random game, will see an assist that blows my fucking mind. Magic had this brutal combination for the defense of being 6'9", which was not expected of point guards back then, not expected at all. You really wouldn't get any taller than like 6'5" on a point guard for like Oscar Robertson. He might have even been like 6'4". So completely convention breaking for that factor alone. But he's not like slow-footed or bad at dribbling the ball. What's interesting about this era of basketball is there was a lot of limitations towards how you were allowed to dribble, but there were also a lot of limitations towards people's understanding of dribbling at that time. So that resulted in, you know, when you watch Magic Johnson highlights, sometimes his dribbling looks a little awkward. He kind of goes back and forth, hobbling on his legs whenever he's dribbling. It's very weird, a very weird posture, but it ends up being super effective because he is probably one of the best examples of the correlation between scoring gravity and playmaking, where Magic running down the floor, going down the middle of the lane as a 6'9" fast guard who has excellent handle, that's a very dangerous threat going to the rim. That is a player who is going to score on that drive every damn time unless you bring a really good contest. But the problem with that is, of course, he can also make a pass to anybody, even if he's not looking at them. Behind his head, eyes closed, out to the corner like this, shit, whatever it may be. Magic Johnson is so capable of making this correct pass to find out whatever little edge, whatever opening you give him, that means that on the fast break, the Lakers are almost always going to fucking score because Magic is going to make you pick your poison, and either way, it's fucking poison. I don't think people understand the difference with Magic as a playmaker versus everybody else, because there are people who want to entertain conversations about LeBron or Jokic being the best playmakers of all time, and I respect the hell out of those guys. Obviously, they're two all-time great players. You could argue they're both top 10 at the very least. LeBron's top 2 and Jokic is top 15. Magic Johnson for me is top 5, but nobody has ever, and to me, nobody will ever pass the ball the way that Magic Johnson does. Not just in terms of the style, not just in terms of the effectiveness of his playmaking, but primarily the volume. There are not any examples of a guard winning a championship averaging 10 plus assists per game throughout the entire playoff run. There has been one player who is not a guard who did that, and it was LeBron James in 2020. But otherwise, Magic Johnson has done it, I believe, 3 times, maybe 4. And one of them, oh my fucking God, are the numbers ridiculous in one of these championship runs. So yeah, in 2020, in 1980 he averaged 9.4. In 1982 he averaged 9.3, which is, not quite 10 for those 2 championships, but for the other 3. In 1985, bro averaged 15.2 assists a game over 19 games on his way to a championship. How he did not win Finals MVP is, well, he was robbed of it, but he did rob Kareem of Finals MVP in 1980, so it's kind of fair. I can give him a pass for that. But 15 assists per game, along with 17 points, only 4 turnovers for those 15 assists. So he's getting like 4 assists for every 1 turnover, more or less. Like a truly, truly dominant in the playmaking category. And then he averaged 15 and 21 on the 86 run, but they fell short. And then in 87, 22 points per game, 12.2 assists per game. And in 1988, 20 points per game, 12.6 assists per game, both of those last 2 years, resulting in titles for the Lakers. So, assist-wise, he won a championship averaging 15.2 assists per game on his title run. The highest that anyone has averaged, other than him, of course, besides that, for a championship run, has been LeBron. Like I mentioned, 2020, he averaged 8.8. I could have swore that was for the entire run. He only did that in the finals, didn't he? Well, then there goes my fucking point. No one's done it besides for Magic Johnson. I could have swore he averaged 10, LeBron, in 2020. Whatever, you caught me. I was wrong. I just want to highlight this aspect of Magic. 15 assists a game. Like, no one passed like him. No one did it as effectively. No one did it at the volume that he did. No one did it with the style that he did. And when we talk about just like the most unique basketball players of all time, especially if you're contextualizing this based on the era, I think the answer is easily Magic Johnson. People will compare LeBron to Magic, but like when people say that LeBron is pass first, it's a little silly. LeBron is not pass first. LeBron is equal opportunity scoring or passing. Magic Johnson is fucking pass first. Magic has scored points his entire career reluctantly. He would much rather get an assist than his own 2-point basket. But at the end of the day, he does recognize the utility in scoring. And just the way that his passing made him utterly unguardable. You simply cannot bring extra help on him because he'll always make the right read. And he's also such a dominant force going to the rim that you just kind of gotta eat shit regardless of what happens. Now, the one downside, the one area where this goes down a little bit, I don't know if Magic was the best half-court playmaker ever. I think I might give that to Nikola Jokic. But overall playmaking package, the difference in fast break ability with Magic versus everybody else, it's just too stark. And like I'm telling you, people think you just pick and choose highlights of Magic's playmaking. No, dude. he has, let me see, how many fucking assists does Magic have in his career again? He just got passed by Chris Paul. He has 10,141 assists throughout his career, and I would wager that at least 1,000 of those are highlight worthy. Genuinely, just some of the most impressive dime dropping that the league has ever seen. And like, even if you're someone who can't enjoy older basketball necessarily, if you can't enjoy at least a Magic Johnson highlight reel, Magic Johnson passing reel, then I don't know, man. There might be something wrong with you. If you might just not like basketball if you can't at least a little bit enjoy watching this guy pass the ball. But yeah, that is it. Shout out to Magic Johnson. Shout out to Winning Time. And fuck HBO. And also fuck all the guys on this Showtime Lakers team that just didn't want to be on a show. How are you on a basketball team called Showtime and you're mad they made a show about it? That's ridiculous. Whatever. Goodbye.